The opening ceremony of the 33rd edition of the Modern Olympics is now just under an hour away. It's expected to be spectacular and unprecedented ceremony on the River Seine. The first ever opening ceremony taking place outdoors. In other words, not in a stadium. But earlier today, on a rainy morning, France's rail network was paralyzed. But what officials say was acts of sabotage. To find out whether this has dampened the spirits of the 3,000 fans expected to watch the ceremony, we now cross live to our reporter in the French capital, and he'll be bringing it to us. Ross Cullen, excited as always to having him join us, and we'll be taking to find out how the sabotage, has it caused a stir? What are the athletes saying? Ross, what are the fans saying? I see you are sans umbrella.
Sans umbrella, because we have had a break in the weather. There are some fears though that 8-9 p.m. local time there could be more showers. We're really hoping that they won't come. We're really hoping the forecast is wrong. We're really hoping they won't dampen the spirits, dampen the ceremony, because there are, and I have to correct you though, it's 300,000 fans lining the riverbanks on those temporary stands that have been built. They're all roofless. They're all open to the elements. The Paris authorities were hoping that people will be able to be basking in the evening sunshine, but they are at the moment trying to scuttle away and hide from the showers. Not put off though. We are understanding that the Olympic opening ceremony will take place, go ahead as planned, with all of those boats, the thousands of athletes, including the South African team, travelling down the river on boats under the watchful eye of those 300,000 fans, also showcasing French culture. But there were some worries earlier, because 800,000 people were impacted by the arson attacks on the French railway network, by the coordinated sabotage on the French rail network, by people cutting the cables of some of the main express lines of the French railway network. A huge attack, a massive attack, to use the words of the French authorities. That was a real headache this morning. The rain has been a real headache this afternoon. We hope that everything will come together this evening.
So despite the rain, despite the rail sabotage, at least we're not going on rail, we're going on boat down the River Seine. And it's going to look like this is not dampening the spirits. What is the atmosphere like? What are fans saying? How are the athletes responding to these disruptions?
Well, if you look behind me, you can see some of the fans who are making their way to the riverside. This is the Champs-Élysées, perhaps the most famous road in Paris, one of the most famous avenues in the world. And a lot of people are making their way to the riverside. But even those who don't have tickets want to be here to be able to soak up the festive atmosphere, because the Olympics is officially getting underway today, Friday. We have had 2 days of sporting competition, and last night in the Stade de France, South Africa booked their place in the men's rugby sevens semi-finals, so they're still in with a chance of a medal, beating New Zealand. That was a fantastic atmosphere to see inside the main stadium. So we have had 2 days of sporting action, but the Olympics has not officially got underway. That will be this evening with the opening ceremony.
And given the outdoor setting, I would imagine the organisers are going to ensure that the event is both spectacular but also safe at the same time.
Yeah, spectacular, because this is something we've never seen before. Every other Olympic Games opening ceremony has taken place in a stadium. Even if you go back at recent times, you remember Tokyo in 2020 and then delayed to 2021, Rio 2016, London 2012 in the Olympic Stadium in the east of the British capital. But Paris wanted to do something different for this year, to mark 100 years since the Summer Games was last in France, Paris 1924. A century on, they thought we'll do something different. Let's have the opening ceremony not in the national stadium, the Stade de France, where the rugby sevens is taking place, where South Africa won last night. Let's have the opening ceremony on the River Seine, such a central part to Paris. Let's have it in the middle of the capital, with dozens of boats and hundreds of thousands of people. It's been a real feat of security planning, and it does seem that it is going to be going ahead as planned in 1 hour's time, just in 60 minutes, and then everything will get underway.
Well, it's definitely going to be a feat as well as a feast for the eyes. We cannot wait for this smorgasbord of entertainment, come rain or shine. I'm sure it's not going to dampen anyone's spirit.
No, and we're really looking forward to it. Smorgasbord is a good way of describing it, showcasing French culture, music, dance, artistic. There'll be video, light shows and fireworks shows. We expect Lady Gaga and Celine Dion also to make an appearance. Heads of state from around the world, heads of government, and of course those thousands of Olympic athletes and flag bearers travelling down the river.
Thank you so much, Ross Cullen there, coming to you live from Paris, ticking down the Olympics opening ceremony.